Well, I wanted to talk about how we're all just separated from each other, how from across the world we're connecting. And this is something that I never realized that honestly, with the birth of the internet, could be really a thing. It's funny. I've had people ask me, how did I meet my wife? And what's funny is I met her online. And now I'm meeting all sorts of people that have a like mind as mine. It's it's kind of funny in that sense. If you watched some of the real life videos I've put up with the car vlog, how I'm talking about and reminiscing how I found myself where I am today, where things are just completely different. How it's been one of those adventures where I think it never really stopped. I met my wife using a online search engine with ICQ, if you would believe that's what we found each other through. We found each other through online. And I know in the furry fandom, a lot of people are finding each other online. A lot of friends are that sense. And it's been that part alone has been really mind-blowing in all of this situation. I've had other friends reach out and they sit there and they go, "Oh, we're worried about you. We don't know what you're getting yourself into." And you know what? I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. It's fun, excitement, it's friends, people that I wouldn't know otherwise. Yeah, a lot of those other friends I also met online through other means, but I didn't meet them in such a way that had the meaning behind it. And that's the difference here. Yes, I have friends that talk about gaming stuff. I have friends that dive deep into whatever you want to call that's going on in the world. I've looked at a lot of the things and I went, you know what? Life is too short to be in that negative space. Start doing things for yourself and start putting friends first and doing stuff for them, doing stuff for yourself, and just having fun. And that's what I've been doing. Now, recently I saw a couple people talking in my comments section. One in particular kind of drew me in, saying they only just found the fandom themselves, but they do find themselves as an outsider again. And this is what I've gone through. This is exactly what I went through back in June. I walked into FURRY, the Edmonton Furry Con, and when I walked in there that first day, I didn't know. I honestly tell you, it was shell shock. I couldn't move. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know who to speak to. I didn't know what to do. And I just sat there and I just stared in awe and going, I have no clue why I'm here. But then I returned the next day. And that next day proved fruitful. I met a few people. I spoke to a bunch of people in fursuits. Got a bunch of really cool shots and video. I made, I think, 3 actual furry style videos in that sense. I made more, like I made more of the vlog videos as well, but I made more content that I enjoyed. Something I enjoyed that I like to watch every once in a while. I like to share with friends and say, hey, listen, I did this cool thing. How about you check it out yourselves? I know it's not your cup of tea, but it is kind of cool to see. And a lot of the feedback I get, family, friends, they sit there and go, hey, that's cool. Like it's neat. You're doing something that's more. Spoken with people that just don't seem to get the whole idea of the headspace of the fandom, where you anthropomorphize a character and then you become larger than life like we have done today. That in itself is absolutely amazing. When I sit there and I have all sorts of fun, unique things in the world, it's one of those things where you sit there and you have to find yourself. I just find myself doing more things and having a blast. I've cut back a little bit on making videos, not because I wanted to, but because I felt that I needed to. I felt that I needed to center my own self and find something more than just getting up, turning on my computer, making a video on an article on gaming stuff, and showing a little bit of rage. Those days, I don't want to sit there and do that. This is what I am. This is what I think I've always been. And that little bit walking into the con that first month, walking into VRC on top of all of that, I joined some instances. I stood off in the corner, not knowing who to speak to, what to say, how to say it, not knowing how to approach people at all. And I've seen, the one comment that I saw in my section, they're like, yeah, I've dove into this, but it's hard. I don't know what to do, and I'm feeling a little bit more down and depressed because I see all these people having fun. Well, they're having fun because they were where you are now. They stepped into a world, and it's a lot different here now, where you have VR chat or more openness of a forum with VR, and the way technology is going, this type of thing is moving forward. But it's exactly where I was back in July. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to speak to. I tried speaking to a few people. I joined a community at that point. I joined a Discord, and then I tried to make friends, and I did make friends. I've made some amazing friends doing that. I took the steps in front of me that were there. Not everyone. You can't get along with everyone, and that's life. Unfortunately, that's how things do go. That's how life happens. You still make friends with some, and some you don't. There's people that'll be a blip on the radar, and then you move on from that, and that's how things go. Unfortunately, that's the reality of life. Not everyone needs to love each other, even though I don't hold any hate towards anyone. I don't hold any qualms about the falling out of anybody. I still sit here and I go, well, it's a shame, but I'll move on. I already have. Sure, it's something I'll still talk about. That's because I'm still going to remember it. I'm still going to remember the good times that were there. I'm also a lot older than a lot of people out there in this fandom. So I've been around the block a little bit more. I've lived a lot more. I've done a lot more things in life, but that doesn't mean that I'm still not learning every day, certain things out there. I've seen very, very negative things, and those negative things do haunt this mind, but it doesn't mean that I'm equating that to things that I see in front of me. I may panic now and again because I don't even know how to deal with certain aspects of things out there. I honestly don't see in some cases where you have to say, listen, if you're part of this, you have to be this, because you're not. Everyone's allowed to do their own thing. And that's what's amazing about what I'm finding with this fandom. You're allowed to step into the limelight. You're allowed to step into the fire like I do every day. I put myself out there and I say, listen, the fire is beneath my feet, but it's not going to put me out. It's not going to burn my soul. It's not going to burn these wings. It's going to empower me and do something more with it. It's going to light a fire in my belly, and I'm going to stand there in front of it and tell you all, keep doing it. Keep being you. The way I see things in the world, and why it's a lot different. Why I sit here and enjoy what I do. Now, there are people out there that sit there and they get upset. They sit there and they say, hey, you're having too much fun. You can't have that fun. I'm going to bring you down a notch. I'm going to say you're a degenerate or whatever you might be. I've been called everything under the sun. I come from the Magic the Gathering community. You think this community is bad? No. Come on. I've seen it all at this point. I've seen where it leads people. It leads people into a negative light. But if you're in a spot where you're going to say, listen, you can hear what I have to say. We can talk. I'm going to say my piece. Maybe I piss you off. But it's at the end of the day, if you can sit there and look past that and say, hey, listen, even though you might be wrong, you might be right, you might piss me off, if you can look past that, then we can be friends. If you can sit there and you can talk to me, I'm very open. I will sit there and say things. If something makes me uncomfortable, maybe I panic and maybe I sit there and say the wrong thing, which has happened at times. And, I sit there and I rack my head and I beat myself up over it and I sit there and I knock myself down. But I get back up. That's the important lesson. As long as you can put the past behind you know that the future's never written, and you can live in this moment right now, then everything will be okay. I am your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here from the cold north of Canada. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.